Fuckers. There you go. Oh, look at that. How cool is that? I didn't even know we had that thing.
What is this?
I don't know. It's just a new screen.
What was that?
We got new screens here. Welcome to the show. I'm just fucking around with the screens. That's what I'm doing. My name's Dean. It's Lachlan Cross, Ryan Lindley. Lachlan, of course, 957 Cruise FM in Edmonton. At Lachlan Cross on Twitter. Ryan Lindley from the Linz Report. At Ryan Lindley on Twitter. He's back. And, of course, I'm me, and I'm an idiot. Nice to see everybody today. How are we? Because
we're not getting David, eh? What happened?
No David Wallace today. Well, it's so David Wallace, self-proclaimed fixer, whistleblower, huge story.
Klondike Papers.
Klondike Papers, Canada Land, Rat Fucker, the series, great series if you haven't seen it. We broke the story several months ago with James, who's coming on the show, I think Thursday. They're going to be on the show Thursday. It was my scheduling issue today. I fucked it up. Not Wallace. It was me. Yeah, okay. I know. I know it's weird. For a guy that doesn't write anything down, sometimes shit happens. I literally don't write anything down. It's all right here. It's all in this steel trap up here, gentlemen.
Working well for you.
It's really, I'm killing it, as they say.
You know, you can put notes in your phone.
Well, I got all these books, and I put notes in my books, but they're like largely unreadable, right? Like this kind of stuff. It's like largely, you know,
I have a
not legible
issue.
It's not a legible thing. You know what happens is I end up doing stuff like this. I end up going like that, where I'm just like, targeted, paid campaign, GAFB, TW, IG, and I'm like, I don't know what this says, but I need an asset list. Yeah. I need an asset list and the kitchen sink by tomorrow. I have no idea what that means, but it's what I got to do. So I'm gonna try and do some of that tomorrow. I'm gonna get to some of this today. We're all happy. It's a big day today.
I'm gonna try and get a kitchen sink
tomorrow. Our boy Colin Livingston. Hang on. Let me just wait. Yeah. Let me just get through this.
I get
first
shit
part.
Done.
All right, I want to hear.
If you ever need any help on how to,
I don't need any help. Just let me get through the first part of this. So we got Colin Livingston from Cantork out in Edmonton, Alberta, friend of yours, friend of ours. He's going to come on. Says he's got some stories of your legendary cheapness. That's a little bit towards the end of the program, which I'm excited about. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I've been planning this thing. Your boy Colin, who you introduced me to. Now we're doing his podcast for him because he's got a racing team at Cantork.
Why do we need to just keep hammering out stories?
Because it's fun making you look bad, dude. Of course.
Quite free.
I remember the last time he was on, it was a story about a burger that you didn't pay for. It was great. I can't wait to hear more.
Apparently, there are several examples of that. Golf, burgers, diners,
golf.
Last time
drinks,
he was on, the last time
rubbing tugs.
He told a story
glory holes
about he's allergic to meat or something. So he ordered a salad, and I spent the whole lunch making fun of his salad choice.
And then made him pay
really
for
matter what you say. It doesn't like you can lay the tracks for you having something on Colin. He's a client of ours now, and he's also our friend. We're doing his podcast for Cantork and his Tagliani racing team. You can say what you like. He's still going to come with the goods about your cheapness. Like you can try to buffer it, but he's still going to come and talk to us about what you're really like what you're really,
put the wrenches
really
to
like.
you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which will be fun. So I'm excited to see him. We got masking to get to. We're going to have a decent conversation about that today because masks are coming back. Everybody's sick. Kids are sick. Hospitals are full. Sick kids, 128% capacity. CHIO, 240% capacity. And everybody's walking around like, no big deal. We're also going to get to the biggest nose in the world. We're going to have a little chat about that. We're going to talk about some Christmas presents, some food. Bad news to start the show today, though. Like some of the worst news Lachlan for sure will ever hear. And actually, I got to tell you, it bothered me. And I was okay with Kate Beckinsale. I was okay with Kim Kardashian because I don't find her attractive. This bothered me. You weren't okay with Kim K?
No. I was very bothered by the Beckinsale.
I was bothered by the Beckinsale too. She's a unicorn.
The Kim Kardashian thing I kind of got because I sort of on a deep down, I kind of feel sorry a little bit for that family because they're sheltered. They live in a bubble. They have no idea.
You're the only person in the world that feels sorry for the Kardashians.
I've never heard anybody say they felt sorry for the Kardashians.
It's not about that. It's about I got it from from the perspective of you can see somebody like that, where they have grown up a certain way, and she's slumming, like she just doesn't get the rest of the world.
Who's slumming?
What I'm saying?
The Kardashians are slumming.
She was slumming with Pete.
Oh, hold it. I don't want to get into the Kardashians. That's not the point here. The point here is
she was going to the
about
carnival. She was getting cotton candy and playing a $10 carnival game.
No, I don't want to talk about that. No. I'm not talking about the Kardashians because Pete Davidson has done the unthinkable yet again.
I was fine with Martha Stewart. Like when that came out, I was like, okay, if he's banging Martha Stewart, good for her.
Are you sure?
I'll tell you something. If Martha Stewart came around and she's like, let's go for a ride, I'd be like, it's Martha Stewart. I kind of have to. Right?
How could you not?
I'd Pete Davidson, Martha Stewart. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't Pete Davidson, Martha
This one bothers me. Yeah,
let's have a look at it together.
Heartbroken.
DeanLundell.com. Mr. Epidermis had some breaking news about 20 minutes ago. Mr. Epidermis put this up. Cue the outrage.
I don't believe this.
Pete Davidson and Emily Ratajkowski are reportedly dating. What?
No. It's fake news. Gotta be fake news.
Who's her last boyfriend? She had, was it
Brad
Aaron Rodgers?
Pitt. No. Brad Pitt.
Oh, it was Brad. She was dating Brad Pitt.
And she dated Brad Pitt after her boyfriend/husband, who knocked her up and gave her a baby, decided to have sex with other girls. She found out. She's like, fuck you. I'm going to bang Brad Pitt. So she goes on a Brad Pitt fuck spree. And then Brad Pitt's like, whatever. I can have anybody I want. So he breaks up with her and she's like, fuck. So you know what she does? Pete Davidson. Now, I don't know if this is a revenge play on behalf of Emily Ratajkowski. I can tell you this.
Is that what he's being used for, maybe?
The fulcrum of hotness to not hotness that follows Pete Davidson around is largely unfair to every warm-blooded Canadian/American/North American/anybody who thinks Emily Ratajkowski is actually very attractive.
She's like, okay, first off, she is absolutely stunning. There's
STUNNNINGG.
She's beautiful. And here's what I would say to women. And this is going to seem very, very difficult. This is going to be very difficult for people to hear of the fairer sex. I have a ton of respect for women. This is making you all look bad. Like across the board.
Here we go.
Across the board, females as a whole are being let down by Emily. She is destroying your reputation as a group, as a gender. You need to get together and combat this because there's
We'd like to remind the female audience that Lachlan Cross does not speak for DeanLundell.com.
This doesn't work. There's no math that anybody can use to explain the fact that this is right, that this makes sense, that this is okay. No, Pete Davidson should be cleaning windows for a living. He's not funny. He's not. He looks like a guy that's standing on a corner in Winnipeg that goes, "Hey, can I squeegee your windows for $3?"
Oh,
that's what he looks like. And he's dating one of the most beautiful women on the planet ever. And you women as a whole should be disgusted by this.
Did you just say women as a whole? I don't think you can say that.
That's not
you
allowed.
Should all of
you get canceled.
Should get together and have a meeting and find out to combat
Get together and have a meeting.
Right.
Yeah,
that's your answer to Pete Davidson.
The Ladies
and
Coalition.
First of all, let me go back. I do agree with you that there is no way this makes sense in any plane of any multiverse ever. To your point of the squeegee kid marrying the hottest swimsuit model to ever don a swimsuit, like ever. Let's have a look.
Perfect.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's
at
a
all.
match.
Like zero. I mean, he's probably got a couple $1 million in the bank. He doesn't have anywhere near Emily Ratajkowski swimsuit dough.
He was fishing through Kardashian's couch. He's got the money that was in that couch too.
Yeah, like maybe, but like the one thing I know he has.
Oh yeah,
the one thing I know he has. It's a big hammer.
That doesn't make it right,
dude. Yeah,
it
does make
baby's
it right.
arm.
It doesn't make it right.
Yeah,
that doesn't make it. It actually makes it worse. It's worse.
It's like a toddler holding a plum.
Yeah, Ariana Grande, when they were engaged for like 5 minutes. Oh, by the way, he hit up Ariana Grande too. Like, I mean, let's just add that to the list of incredible people that he's been able to bed. She was like, I couldn't believe this in an interview. She's like, I couldn't believe it. It was like 10.5 inches. I was in heaven. And I'm like, fucking Pete Davidson.
She didn't say that.
She said that on Stern. I swear to God, I saw a clip of it. I'm like, this is fucking unbelievable. She's just offering it up. And now, you know what that did? That started the revolution. That started the Pete Davidson will have sex with you and you will have sex with him no matter what revolution.
I think I think he's a rebound tool. I think that's what he is. He's like, I'm out of a very serious long-term relationship. Time to fuck Pete Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like a reset. It's almost like how they wipe the board. Like,
it's sort of like rehab. Like when you go to rehab and you're like, okay, I need a
rehab.
Where the detox. Pete Davidson's cock is detox for women that got out of terrible relationships.
Pete Hab.
Pete Hab.
Pete Hab's the other thing too. You get the whole, oh, he's funny and we like funny man. That's bullshit. That has never worked.
No, it's true. It's 100% true.
Of the population.
That's a lie. Women always, dude. That's the thing. If you have a big hammer and you're incredibly funny, you can have sex with anybody you want. By and large, when you say sense of humor isn't a big deal, that is such a load of shit.
It is a load of shit.
Let me add the next part of this thing.
Hammer, very funny.
Super.
Start lying.
Yeah, but you're married.
I'll give my
You've been married since you were 8. Like, what the fuck do you want?
Yeah, but hold on.
Yeah, dude, you took a child.
I knew I had a larger than average hammer when I was quite young. And when I was in the dating pool at a very young age, very funny in the dating pool. And I had a huge hammer and I knew it. That had
but nobody else saw the hammer.
On my
nobody knows who you are.
Nobody saw your hammer.
In Edmonton on the radio in Edmonton. It's not like if you put this out there, like, and here's your problem is you've been married, as Linz has pointed out, since you and your wife were given to each other by 2 yurt families in Yak, BC at the age of 12.
Goat.
So
for a goat and a
you've
bag
never
of lentils.
had the experience of like a woman going, I can't believe.
It was
like if you were as famous as he was and your wife was like, I have to say this about my husband's hammer. It's enormous. And if she was on Howard Stern saying that, you would probably have all kinds of DMs from people where you're like,
oh yeah,
what? Sissy Spacek?
Oh, you know what, Ellen? Drop the personality thing.
Ellen wants to see it.
Drop it.
Ellen.
Drop it.
Ellen's hopping the fence for a day.
Dude, you'd have like Rosie O'Donnell sliding into your DMs. You'd have all kinds of babes hitting you up for this too. Yeah. But you haven't had this opportunity. And that's the problem. You're very funny. You have a big penis, or so you say. I've never seen it. Like Pete Davidson, you haven't had someone sing your penis's praises in public who's very famous and incredibly hot.
It was part of our vows. I make my wife whenever we meet new people, she tells them she has to.
Speaking of big penises, I do want to bring this guy in. Please welcome Blue Jacket guy. Paulie's back, ladies and gentlemen. Paulie Atkinson from the
How you doing?
True North Eager Beaver podcast. Nice to see you.
What happened to your face?
I twisted up the stash, bro.
Yeah.
Twisted up the stash.
Yeah,
it's getting long, so fuck it. Movember.
Yeah.
No, it's
no,
the
you look
colors.
like a two-tone
the colors
Buick,
off
though.
too.
Yeah, you got the brown in the middle, and then you got the white on the sides.
So the sides
you look like
used
a
to be
station
red.
wagon.
That used to be red, right? This all was red. But red doesn't go gray, it turns white, which means Santa Claus was a ginger.
But what happened to the what happened to the middle? It looks like
I don't know. It's mostly brown. There's not a lot of red in the middle. The red has all gone white.
Let's stick with the fucking program here, Lindsay, if we can. We're not talking about
I'm
facial
very
hair.
distracted by the.
Well, you can get to it after. You'll explain to you how facial genetics works.
A coffee, double soy.
I need a
shot of espresso. It looks like
it's like an old fashioned.
A half double caffeinated half
an old man
twist, please.
Yeah, you look like a barista that's got a second chance,
or a fucking
sort of
hipster bartender.
Sort of
or
the
something.
idea.
I don't know.
You look like a second chance barista. Anyway, nice to see you. Paulie's on vacation. He's from the True North Eager Beaver podcast. Did his little morning bites this morning, little nibble. If you get a chance to go and download that, it's like a little podcast that he does before. We're talking about penises. Paul, I thought you'd come in handy here because you sung your own penis's praises last week when you told Tom Razzo to, quote, suck all 8 inches of your you-know-what.
That got me banned on Twitter for a week.
You got banned on Twitter for that? Did you?
Yeah. It's so I'm the cuck soy boy entitled millionaire fucking entitled prick, snowflake, beta.
Hippie. Don't forget hippie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that too.
He's our
That's right.
Pete Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute I actually respond to trolls appropriately because they responded to me in a certain manner, I thought, fuck it, I'm going to go after them the same manner, and they went after me, and they're the fucking snowflakes.
Oh yeah.
I tell them to choke on it. I get banned for a week.
Go figure.
I think that's an algorithm thing, though. If you're telling people to choke or you're threatening to choke,
well,
so
they cited
I think that.
They cited 5 different tweets. Okay, 4 of them were choke on my cock. One of them was thanks for all the free content, Danielle Smith. Yeah. We're going to skewer you with it for fucking years. And I'm like,
skewer. Yeah.
So they thought skewer meant I was actually going to
can't
it's
include the action.
Turn of phrase. How the fuck did they not know that?
Well, it's Twitter. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Like, dude, you know what Elon did yesterday, which I found fascinating? This is how they've been operating. So if you wonder why you're not verified or your account gets canceled sometimes, here's why. Twitter just canceled $400 lunches for free lunches for each employee at Twitter. Elon's like, why are we giving everybody free lunch? And they're like, there's nobody working here. And they're like, I don't know. It's because we've always done it. And they're like, well, cancel the fucking free lunch. $400 it would have cost per person. $400 per person. So the fact that Twitter may have gotten your skewering comment wrong, relax. I mean, they're just dealing with free lunches over there. But back to the penises. So we're talking about Pete Davidson. This doesn't make a lot of sense to you either, does it, Paulie? I mean, it can't in the real world where these two are together. Okay, it just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, Emily Ratajkowski is a stunningly beautiful woman. Yes. I've chatted with her a couple of times on Twitter. She's actually a really decent human being. Yeah. Here's the thing. It's like I've
heard she's nice. I was going to say something disgusting there too. By the way,
no, nothing. I will not say anything disgusting about her. I will not do that.
Well, I was going to.
No, I've chatted with her a couple of times. Really nice person who you have to remember she was in the spotlight at a very young age.
Probably really a guy named Bob that's in like Kosovo with an internet account talking to Polly. It's calling himself Emily Ratajkowski.
Yeah. Anyway, so you chatted with her on Twitter. Yes, continue to go ahead.
Lovely person, really was in the spotlight at a very young age. I think it was like 14 or 15 when she started modeling. And then all of a sudden she's thrust into the zeitgeist, if you will, when she appeared in a Robin Thicke video. Topless.
She was the one thrusting her zeitgeist around that video, just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And she said...
I do remember that.
Yeah, so she said... She wanted to act. She wanted to become an actor. And I'm like, cool. And then she said that the one thing she wanted to do more than anything else was get her nose fixed. And I'm like, why? What are you going to do with your nose? You have a beautiful nose. You have a beautiful face. Why would you mess with that? And I guess even somebody as stunningly, breathtakingly beautiful as she is, and she is, let's face it, she still looks at herself in the mirror and sees nothing but faults and like look at this woman. My God, she's breathtakingly beautiful.
No,
and
her
she
nose
looks
is
in
off.
the mirror and
sees. Yeah.
But that's what I mean. This is the thing. It's like
look at that.
I do have mustache wax, by the way, Nona. I do have mustache wax. I'm not using it right now. Now I'm messing around because I
can't even look at her
drinking wine.
No, it's actually terrible.
She needs it fixed now.
Yeah.
Listen, I know.
You know what? I think people.
Go ahead.
You know what? I'll say this. I think everybody needs to do is they need to realize that anybody, men should be angry about this.
Oh, now men are angry.
They should be.
Why?
Lachlan wants everybody angry.
Why?
Men should be women.
Really average
women should
dude.
be bothered by this. Women should be bothered by this because she's letting everybody down, and men should be angry about this. And everybody needs to wrap their head trying to rationalize this. I was doing that a couple of months back where I was like, okay, well, maybe, you know what, we'll let it. But no, now I'm back to full on anger. I think we all should be full on angry about this thing. And the more we talk about it, the more angry I'm going to get.
Well, okay. I think Lachlan sees a disparity here because I think he sees a disparity here.
This is probably part of the reason why the universe is so fucked up right now. Because
another reason why it's unfair.
Yeah. What's unfair? Because you can't date Emily Ratajkowski because you have a huge wiener too.
It's not.
That's your problem.
Listen, it's not about me. It's about the people that are trying to attempt to justify.
You're
this
mad. You're mad. No one else is mad. I'm happy for Pete Butthole Eyes Davidson.
No,
Super happy for him.
You were not. Before we went on the podcast, you honestly, you talked about how wrong this was too.
It's wrong. But I'm happy for him.
I'm not.
I am. Dude, you're not happy for him because you're like,
I hope he gets
I was next in line in your mind. It's like we all do that, right? When like you see two people break up and the woman's like when Brad and Angelina broke up, you're like, now's my chance. In our heads, we're like, now's our chance. It's like
she's
me
free
here in Alberta, down in Binbrook, Paulie in his apartment. You're like, yeah, there's an outside chance because everybody watched Notting Hill at one point where you're like, that never happens. You're not going to Notting Hill Emily Ratajkowski into a relationship. You're just not going to do it unless, of course, she finds out that you have a massive hammer. And it's interesting because a new study came out, and I want to read this to you because it's fascinating to me.
Okay,
that equates people with big noses to also, by and large, in the majority of cases, big penises. Did you know this? Did you guys see the correlation of this?
Yeah,
I've actually seen this before. They talked about this. Hand size doesn't always. It's not. That's not a huge indicator. Foot size, not a huge indicator. But apparently, if the nose is hands down, a big nose almost always means. And you remember we talked about the guy that the guy that I went to school with, Mike, high school, that had a big wiener. He had a honker on him too.
Of course he did, dude. It's scientific. I was reading about it in the paper. Bigger the nose, the bigger the penis, is not how the adage goes. But apparently, and I find it hilarious, they did this at a university in Japan. It's like we found a difference between the correlation between nose size and penis size. The published medical journal says the study said men with large noses had stretched penile length at just 5.3 inches, which seems small. While men with, and I'm being serious, while men with smaller noses had a penis length of 4.1 inches erect, the team of researchers drew this conclusion by looking at dead corpses of 126 men. I don't know how they got 126 dead guys hard for this study, but they must have.
I want to know who applied for that job.
Within 3 days of their death.
I think they call that angel dust.
I think it's illegal in most countries, isn't it? I think
probably
getting off dead people is illegal. Anyway, whatever.
It's for
different
science.
Parts of their body after taking varying accounts of factors such as height, weight, measurements of the penis. There were no links between feet size, appendage size before you asked. The author of the study worked out stretch penile length of each cadaver. It was measured by, sorry to be graphic, by pulling the penis as far as it could go. I've done that for years. It works great. The study concluded the fact nose size is related to SPL, stretch penile length, indicates penile length may not be determined by age, height, or body weight, but has already been determined by the birth, and that birth direct correlation to the nose, which brings me to Spenny's tweet that he sent me first thing in the morning. Wake up, I got a coffee in my hand. You guys see this? It's like, Dean, I just wanted to give you a leg up today. Enjoy the name. Thomas Wadhouse was an English circus performer who lived in the 18th century. He's most famously known for having the world's longest nose, which measured 7.5 inches long.
That's a dick.
That's a dick. Actually, it's not actually
balls.
Is it?
Yeah,
apparently that was real. Yeah,
that was real. This was him back in the day. His nose was so big. You're like,
that doesn't look real.
Circus. It doesn't, but
that one isn't real. But the other one was.
That's a wax statue of him because you wouldn't get good pictures from the 18th century, Locke. But this guy is a real guy. I'm
hoping he was a perfumer.
Really?
Wait a second. Ryan just had the fucking line of the century. He's like, where you go, is that a real picture? And he's like, I don't think they had cameras in the 18th century, Locke, but it looks like a wax figure.
That's why I keep asking where these pictures are coming from.
This guy's
how do we
300 years too late for this guy. 300 years too late. If I had a nose like this, I'd walk around with a sign that had a quote from a medical dictionary that talked about penis size and nose length. That's all I would do. That's all I would do every day.
Ask me about my nose to
Ask
penis ratio.
Hand-out pamphlet.
Do you want to know?
Hand-out
Business
pamphlet.
cards.
I'd have it on business cards. I'm like, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's true, by the way. Biggest nose in the world right now, which would probably be the biggest penis in the world right now, belongs to a Turkish guy. Mehmet Ozurik.
That's
a nose.
Turkish dude. He's been smiling like that for 35 years.
Of course he has.
Look at the thing is, too. Look at that guy. Tell me right now that you don't think that guy has a hammer in his pants.
Massive.
Massive dong. Massive dong.
Just huge. A weapon. Look at that. So this guy's from Turkey.
He's
His
the
name's
guy
Mehmet
that doesn't
Ozurik.
wear a towel at the pool.
No, you can
he
hang
never
it.
Wears
though.
underwear when he wears sweats either. He's like, I want people to see helmet for sure. He's like, the longest nose in a living person today is this guy. 3.46 inches. Mr. Wedders had a 7.5 incher.
Holy fuck!
Right?
Oh,
Huh? Look at that, boys. We learned
That's
something
massive.
today. We went from being angry about Pete Davidson's enormous penis.
No, I'm
getting
still
him
angry.
all kinds of hot, strange. I know you're still angry. To learning about guys with big noses. Now, does Pete have a big nose? You bet he does.
yeah, he
Makes
does
sense.
actually.
He's got a massive nose. Yeah.
It hangs between his two assholes that he calls eyes. Sorry, I'm mad now too, Locke.
He's got
sense.
some.
Well,
Somebody
no.
called me out because when I was
also
making
pay
fun
attention
of
to the
Pete
fact that
Davidson.
Pete
Go-
has a
go,
lot of
Paul.
mental health issues. He's got like depression, severe anxiety. He's on a lot of medication. Many times he's talked about self-harm and what do they call unaliving oneself. So
Suicide.
You know,
Sure, let's just take this conversation, put it right in the side of the mountain. No problem.
I like it.
Well,
this is a good one.
but I mean, it's all real, right? So
It's because his penis is so big. He's like, fuck, it's a burden.
I can't live with
No.
this.
I can't live like this
Well,
anymore.
I think
Maybe that explains a lot about me.
you know
While
what?
he's on vacation, he's
On
like
a
6
serious
glasses of
note,
wine in,
and
and
I-
he's like, I have a big penis.
3, but yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a
All
few
right.
more.
All right. Lock.
I think that's an interesting conversation, though. I think a lot of times what ends up happening, and I think there might be an element of this with the women that he's dating, because a lot of times what'll happen is, and I'm being 100% serious, and this isn't a judgmental thing. I'm not trying to be funny anymore. Women are fixers. They want to fix men, right? Quite often, a lot of them, right? They're the nurturer. And if somebody does show signs of needing help, sometimes it will attract a certain personality from women, right? So I think he maybe uses that a little bit, and I don't even know if he does. I doubt he does it on purpose, right? Because I think he does have probably some damage from, because his dad was a firefighter who died in 9/11,
This
right?
Yeah.
In the
I
tower.
don't,
So
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's probably on some level dealing with that, right? In his personal life, right?
yeah, but I don't picture the Kardashians being very empathetic. Really?
No, not really.
You know what? I will say this too, is like, he's gone through a lot of pain. That's kind of why I'm happy that he keeps hooking up with the world's greatest unicorns.
His
Like,
dad's
No,
gotta be
I'm
proud
back
up
to
there.
this.
His dad's probably in heaven
being
going,
angry about it.
he's swinging his hose over, his old fire hose over his thing. He's like, that's my boy. Look at him. He's probably got a weapon on him too. And they guaranteed he does. You know what? That's my boy. He's standing there hovering over his house in Long Island, Staten. He's like, that's it. That's it. Kim
Staten
K,
Island is
congratulations. Don't get too upset when Kim K leaves, by the way, because Emily's right behind him.
Right around the corner.
And then maybe Hillary Clinton. Depends on.
Have you seen The
Or-
King of Staten Island?
Yeah, it's terrific.
Great film.
movie.
Yeah.
Bill Burr is amazing. in it.
Unbelievable.
Oh my
He's
God,
so
he's so
funny.
good in
He's
that.
so
Who
is
played his
funny.
mom? Who played his mom in that?
What's her name? Marissa Tomei. Marissa Tomei. I believe.
Yes,
Was
yes,
it-
yes,
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 it
yes.
was,
Ding,
yes,
ding, ding,
yes.
ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
She
Top 5
like
cougar of all time.
the cast was insane.
Oh yeah.
And actually, again, dead serious about this. Pete Davidson nailed that part too. Obviously,
He did.
I mean, it's something he's familiar with, but
Yeah.
it was the one time because I've seen his stand up out of his little hits with the weekend date on SNL. I've never really thought he had any like real contribution to Saturday Night Live. And
really
anytime I saw him on the,
week, it's like I'd do him. Look at that. Our listeners, you won't.
Anybody that saw his like, have you seen stand up? His stand up isn't particularly.
Not funny.
That's not.
I don't find him funny.
Not that great.
It's not that great. I think comics stay away from talking about it too because he's famous. I think for being famous right now, he's like our Taylor Swift almost.
He
right?
sure is. Yeah.
So
for guys, he's the man's version of Taylor Swift. Everybody's living vicariously through him. That's it.
Yeah,
congrats. I'm happy for him, dude. Like you know what? And it's weird because like
I see what you're doing.
Angry about it. I'm happy. I'm taking the other side. I'm happy for him.
You're trying to convince yourself. You're trying to make this right in your own mind, and it's just
pretty
not going to work.
No, it's no, it's not. I'm trying to take a lighter side of it because I know I have no chance. Right? It's like unlike you, I know what I'm capable of and what I'm not capable of. Outside chance, Emily Ratajkowski shows up here. She's got I got a flat tire. I'm like, yeah, me too. What do you want to do about it? She wouldn't look at me and go, you know what? Let's go for coffee. I think you're cute. None of that stuff. And I can guarantee you I'm better looking than Pete Davidson. Like, guarantee you. Anyway.
Come on, Locke. I'm 2 years older than you. I'm 54.
Do you know what else pissed me off?
I'm not going to pursue a woman that age. That's disgusting.
Go ahead, Linz. And then I'll get to the next thing.
I was going to say
airing the grievances today.
I know you're trying to pivot here, and I'm going to help.
Yes.
Sandra
Go
Bernhardt,
ahead and continue.
Speaking of big, huge honking dongs, Sandra Bernhardt used to date Jay Leno, who is now in the news today. Had a pretty serious accident, apparently, in a fire.
What?
Earlier. Yeah, he's burnt pretty bad. He's in a burn unit in LA right now. But he had a huge dong, and Sandra Bernhardt talked about it on Howard Stern once. Saying that, you know,
that coming?
You might not but Jay Leno, who was seriously burned today in a fire, had a huge dick, like a huge dick. So, you know, good for him.
Then why is he such a? Then why is he such
his face is gone today? Not doing that great. But, yeah. No, I'm serious. Like this is real. This actually happened today.
Well, I don't know. He's got a massive nose too. If we do the nose to penis scale, he's got to probably have a big penis, right? Go ahead, Locke.
Yeah.
He's got big nose. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. See, it's all coming together.
Back to this anyway.
Yeah.
Speaking of big noses,
there's your pivot.
I want to pivot to something else. It has nothing to do with big noses, big penises, but it also pisses me off. I've been trying for 9 months to get put on the Russian sanction list.
Same.
Big difference. Huge difference. Gigantic
I've been trying harder than most Canadians. And today a new sanction list came out. 100 new Canadians got sanctioned.
Are we on?
We didn't make the cut. We didn't make the fucking cut. Every day I'm mocking Putin, making fun of him taking a shit in a suitcase. We got Alex from Ukraine on, mocking Putin, calling him Frank Johnson, HVAC salesman.
I got it, Dean. I got it.
Yes.
I'll tell Putin to suck on all 8 inches of my cock and choke on it.
Well, okay, whatever it takes. I don't even really care.
That'll do it, right?
But this literally happened today. James Carey is on the list. That's Jim Carey. Jim Carey. Catherine Winnick. Murray Brewster from the CBC. Margaret Evans from the CBC. The host of The National. Adrian Arsenault from the CBC. Paul Workman from CTV. Danielle, it's like fucking
Danielle Smith.
What they do is they get some asshole Russian to watch TV and Canadian TV for a couple hours. They're like, sanction whoever you see on the television from the CBC. Danielle Hemamanjian, David Aiken from Global News, Cathal Kelly, a guy that writes sports for the Globe. Cathal's a great guy too. He's a great writer. He hasn't said a word about Russia. They're like, fuck you too. Ariana Gitch, political commentator, blogger, Margaret Atwood.
Margaret Atwood's 150.
That's funny.
Leave her alone.
Margaret,
I don't think.
I love it that he used her picture too.
Yeah, Maria Riva, I never heard of her, and of course, Locke. Sad news: the premier of Alberta, Danielle Smith, Russia's best friend, is also on the list.
Isn't she like a fucking Russian asset?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What did she say to piss off?
I don't know if there's
I
anything
don't know.
I don't know if there's
No.
anything she said that would put her on either side of this.
Well, there
Is
is. I'll tell you what it is, and this is fascinating.
I don't
Remember
know.
when she upset the Ukrainian community by going, I think Russia should just be allowed to beat the shit out of Ukrainians for fun anytime they want. It's their land, right? They're just on board. And then she was like, whoa, big backlash because like half of Alberta's Ukrainian. And she started this Ukrainian central kind of fucking policymaking thing. And to bring people over because she went overboard with the, Russia's fine over there. And so now that pissed off Putin to the point where he's like,
What did she say, Linz? She said something. It was disparaging to Ukraine, but
she put out a series of she put out a series of blog posts and she did a few videos and interviews where she was questioning the reason why everybody's so pro-Ukrainian, which is obviously what Russia didn't pick up on, but what they did pick up
That's
on
what it was
the backlash, and then her response, like Dean's talking about, where they went overboard to apologize to the Ukrainian community and go out of their way to try and do some nice things.
To try to remedy
because
it.
Danielle Smith finally realized that 10% of the population of Alberta is Ukrainian. And, so that hit worldwide news for them, and they went, "Oh, she's pro-Ukraine. We're going to sanction her." So,
Block.
I'm not sure what the numbers are with respect to how many Ukrainians are coming to Ontario versus, whatever province, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Saskatchewan. But I do know we've got really strong numbers being taken in Alberta. So I think, take Danielle Smith out of it. I think Alberta's pretty pro-Ukrainian. Like pro. I see flags.
Well, something like 13% of Albertans have Ukrainian heritage, right? Like that's and what happened was, which is if you want to kind of bring it back down to exactly why she probably is on the sanctions list, like which I think is actually quite funny, is they've actually got like an entire program to settle as many Ukrainian immigrants as they can. How the province of Albertans are helping out Canada in response to Ukraine crisis. Alberta's government committed to support Ukrainian members fleeing the war and helping them resettle in Alberta. So that caught the attention. Apparently, that was just sent to me by a listener. That caught the attention of Vladimir Putin, who's busy fighting Parkinson's and cancer and taking a shit in a suitcase so no one can send his proof to the United States. So why not, right?
Okay, so here's the best part about the shit in the suitcase thing.
Yeah.
I spoke to some friends in very high places who work in espionage-ish stuff. I can't get too specific, but let's just say that shit, for want of a better term, no pun intended, is real.
Yeah.
That's real. 100% real.
Yeah.
They actually do that. Yeah. So, and this is coming from people who work in high security, super snoop, spy type espionage environments who have told me point blank, no, Paul, that's real. They really do that.
That smells. Because can you be the?
He's not the only world leader that does it either. So
no,
really,
no.
Yeah, Kim Jong Un does it as well.
Yep.
I do it sometimes, depending on
there's a tremendous.
Sometimes I'll be at a dinner party and I had a lot to eat the night before, a bunch of trail mix, a bunch of water, and I'm like, "Ooh, this isn't great. Maybe something hot with siracha." And then I'll go to the dinner party and it's like the walls start to move, and I'm like, "This is not great." So I'll bring a suitcase with me and a ladle, like a soup ladle, and I'll just soup the turds and I'll put them in, and then I'll wrap it up, and and then I walk out with my suitcase like Putin. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
You really need water. Like I don't think anybody realizes the importance of water in actually combating the overall smell of a dump. Yeah. Have you ever not checked the toilet and it may be full of toilet paper and then you poop on top of the toilet paper? It's always way more egregious.
Well, that's why outhouses
or used a porta-john
worse than a bathroom.
That's just to diminish the sound. That's just to lower the sound. That's all it is. You throw a couple of layers of TP down there just to lower the decibel level.
You're going to have to do the fit test soon.
Yeah. Me? Yeah, 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So you're going to have to shit on a paper plate.
I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'll do it. I'll just bring in my suitcase. I've been collecting
Kitchen
turds for
catcher
months.
and a paper plate.
He's been working on his aim.
Yeah, I had to do that.
Yeah, dude,
dinner
take it
parties.
in.
I can take a dump in like a shot glass now. I'm so good at it.
Here's the worst part. I did it. I sent it in. They go,
Yeah.
6
not
feet.
good enough. Not good enough,
They
gentlemen.
needed more shit when you did it?
They're like, no, it's not good. It failed. I'm like, what do you mean it failed? I did everything you told me.
Your
to.
shit
No,
failed?
It failed. Yeah, it failed.
I filled
So
a
I'm like,
Safeway bag. They better have
I'd
had
have
enough.
issues. I'd have self-esteem issues too if somebody told me my shit failed.
I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I literally, they're like, you shit on a little piece of paper in the toilet, and then you take a little dip, like a popsicle.
You know how it works, yes.
And
Yeah,
you
I've done a
spread it out
stool
on a
sample
thing.
before, many times.
It's all changed now. Now it's
I
all
know.
changed. Now it's like shit in a bag, fold the bag up, drop it in the envelope. I'm like,
Yes. This
That's
is
how you
what
do
I'm
it.
telling you. Yeah.
You got to take
Yes.
care of your health when you hit 49.50.
Mine
You got
would
to
have
make
cost
sure that you're
You have to.
$13
I just want to go to the doctors and do it because look, man, I can't be in the room when they're changing the diaper of a child. I will vomit. And I'm like, you want me to scoop up my own? No, not happening. Not
You
happening.
need to get a little harder. That's what you got to do.
That's
what you got to do.
You fucking
Dude, I'm happy to help you.
spoiled.
I'm happy to. Men's health is a big thing. And before we get to our masking subject, I'd like to bring in someone who's super keyed into helping people get better. Real quick, before I go any further, we're really excited to have some changes coming to deanblundell.com. We're undergoing a wholesale change, name change, turning into a bit of a different business. And coming with us on that journey, an official charity of choice. Some would say, Dean, you like charities? I'm like, yes, I love charities. If they're run by great people.
Mhm.
And Michael Braithwaite and his group over at Blue Door are some of the greatest human beings you will ever meet. And they do work quietly and silently to get people off the streets, off of drugs, out of bad situations, to give them life skills, a place to live, and a starting point to restart your life. Michael joins us now before we go any further. Mr. Braithwaite.
Hey.
Hello, sir.
From On the Way Home, the podcast. Good to see you, Blue Door. Real quick, we're really excited to partner with Blue Door, and we're even more excited because of what you do at Blue Door. This is 40 years of effort trying to help people, help adults, help people get better. Explain real quick what Blue Door is, if you can. And thank you so much for agreeing to partner with us on our new venture. And, of course, being the official charity of choice of everybody here at deanblundell.com and where we're morphing as well. So take us through that Blue Door. What is it?
Thank you so much. Hey, listen, the pleasure is all ours. We so appreciate your support. We cannot do this on our own. Blue Door is a charity up in York region, and we work across York, Peel, Durham, and anywhere else that people need our services. But generally, we support our most vulnerable in those regions with housing, with access to healthcare, with access to meaningful and well-paying employment, and housing of all forms, whether it be emergency right now or just kind of a rent geared to income, supportive housing that you need. We'll be there and are always looking at the evolving needs of our most vulnerable and adjusting to meet them.
Now, when you say trying to meet the needs of the most vulnerable, who are your clientele? And take us through really what your programs are, who you help on a daily basis.
Well, generally, we support people experiencing homelessness. You'll hear me say people experiencing because we want you to see the person first. Every person that is experiencing homelessness is a father, a sister, an aunt, an uncle, a friend, right? So they are a person going through a terrible experience, whether it be due to economic circumstances, family breakdown, divorce, addictions, mental health, lots of pathways in, very few out. But that's who we're supporting. Many of our clients live on an income of $700 a month or $1,200 a month if they're getting Ontario Works or disability. And if you need an income, according to the Globe and Mail, of about $90,000 a year, household income to afford a one-bedroom apartment, the gap is massive for our clients to get that type of housing.
You know what's interesting? I think we have to on a mass scale, and again, you're much closer to this, Michael, than we are, but we have to reevaluate our approach to combating homelessness. And I think it's organizations like Blue Door. There's a couple of groups in my neck of the woods as well, in Edmonton, that are convincing people to change the way you approach this, because you just can't throw money at this, right? I mean, the starting point is figuring out why they're there. And unfortunately, that requires it requires people to get in and get in front of it, face to face with it, to figure out, because there's not this one. And that's why I think everybody has to start supporting groups like this, because that's what you guys do. You guys are trying to figure out,
well, yeah, I think,
root cause, right?
Oh,
that's
no,
right. Right.
Michael?
I mean,
Oh, there you
Go ahead,
Sorry.
Michael.
Go ahead.
yeah, you're right. Listen, this is a complex challenge that we have before us, and absolutely government plays a huge part in solving it, but so does community, right? Community rallying around saying, what can we do? There's plenty of ways to get involved. There's some cool programs that one of our partner agencies, 360 Kids, runs, where it's like a host homes program for kids who you don't want them to go into the shelter system, right? That's a slippery slope. So you actually have hosts that take them for a couple of days till they get stuff figured out, and then they can move on, and then they're moving on with life rather than going into that shelter care system, right? But yeah, really you need all different types of housing, right? Housing that might be right for seniors will not be right for youth, and to us LGBTQ plus youth. So it's different all around. So there's lots of, listen, what we did see is this: the pandemic was terrible on us all, even more so on our most vulnerable. But we did see this, that when there was government will and dollars put towards this, we could house people really quickly. We moved really quickly on it. Unfortunately, those dollars don't last forever. So we've got to be innovative and think a little differently to tackle this.
Yeah, when you talk about tackling, what do you tackle? What does Blue Door tackle? Like, we can get into a couple of different programs, but why we love you and your group and why we love you, what you do, is you take on all comers, right? It's not just about, how do we get this person out of a bad situation? Now there's emergency placement. There's all kinds of emergency things you do, but this is something that that is far more far-reaching than just getting people out of tough situations, right? This is about giving them skills. This is about giving them purpose. This is about helping them understand and invest in their own mental and physical well-being and their emotional well-being. Take us through what it is in the scope of what it is that you do, and it doesn't need to be quick, Michael. You don't have to hurry through it. You can be real proud and explain to us who you are, because I think you're one of the greatest organizations when it comes to getting people off the streets and finding solutions in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, there's a saying, right? If you do what you did, you get what you got. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes we don't learn from doing things the wrong way or failure. I'll give you an example. When we're looking at employment for individuals who want to escape poverty, many times in the past, what we do is we'd find a crappy job that no one wants to do, with crappy hours, not paying a living wage. And then we basically are handing them another failure in life, right? And it didn't pull them out of poverty. So Blue Door looks at things a little differently. When we set up our Construct program, so Construct, our program, we're a construction company with a social purpose, right? So when we hire people, we come out, let's say you said, hey, come renovate my basement. We would do that. You get experts that do that work. It's a fair price. It's not discounted. It's a fair price. It's quality work. What you're not paying for are the 6 to 8 people that come along and get trained and then get launched into the trades, where coincidentally, they make $21 to $28 an hour to start, which coincidentally is what you need to afford a 1-bedroom apartment in the GTA. Alongside from that, there's multiple wins. The trades desperately need people if we're going to build I think it was 3 million homes across Canada in the next 10 years. But as well, it brings in revenue to Blue Door. So we don't have to rely on government. So if we need different types of housing, if we need to hire a nurse to provide healthcare for our most vulnerable, we can do those types of things moving forward, right? So it's innovative and it's a win across the board. When you just think about things differently, it's a meaningful job, it's paying a living wage, it actually pulls people out of poverty. It's a huge win, and we've had and why wouldn't you hire Construct, right? If you can hire construction company A and B, but B has a huge social purpose where you're actually for no greater cost are doing some social good, why would you not hire Construct? The hope is to grow that across the country and scale that and share, in that type of ideology, right? To really get people into good paying jobs where they can pull themselves out of poverty.
Hands down, a different approach. you guys have rethought this, and you're having success with a creative way of dealing with a problem that has multiplied across the country. Like in some situations, I think probably even doubled. That's the number we're hearing in Edmonton. Is that
in the past
number
2 years,
of the homelessness?
homelessness? Yeah, these are solutions, right, Locke? Like it's kind of neat that way. Is it? This isn't a handout thing. Like the reason, so many great reasons to partner with Blue Door as an organization. One are the people, right? Michael and his group are just like truly altruistic people that are here to do a great job. But they've also got a business portion of this, right? Because they don't want handouts. They want to be able to do the work, and they want to be able to feed people. They want it to be sustainable and self-sustaining for the people that they're helping. So there's a bunch of pride here as well. But it really goes to give people purpose, right? Give people a reason to enjoy this experience in life, to be able to have a skill, be proud of
tailor-made too.
Yes. But also feeding into a business. Like that's the magic of what Blue Door does. And if you have any information that you need about Blue Door, and if you're looking, we've got a bunch of people in the comment section going, hey, when I get to work, I'm going to look up Blue Door and I'm going to talk to the consultants. It's great to watch how active people are. What we want you to do is check out Blue Door online. Blue Door is one of those companies that goes above and beyond and helplessness, as it says right here, through meaningful employment in York, Durham, and now in Peel region. This is really kind of North GTA stuff. And they've got buildings, and they've got creative ways of getting, vacancies, so they can find a place to put people up and then give people a helping hand to kind of get them back on their feet, give them mental help, give them emotional help, give them medical help, but also give them, a job that everybody wants, to be able to feel this need, this purpose. Exactly. Yeah. And like so many of us wake up on a daily basis that have jobs and don't feel that sense of purpose. Mm-hmm. And that is really, truly the beginning of a lot of people's ends, right? And so if you can give people that reason, which is what Blue Door does, my goodness, I mean, the work that these guys have done, it has been just incredible to watch, and being on the inside, and we're fortunate enough to be able to promote their podcast and help them with their podcast. It's called On the Way Home. It's educational. It's heartwarming. It's fascinating when you talk to people who are actually on them, because we like to look away, right? As people with haves, we've all got haves. We've all got stuff. It's easy for us to go, it's nice they're doing that work. But no, we want to get our hands in. We want to work with you and your group, Michael, and we're really, really, really proud of it. How can people get a hold of you, and how can people get a hold of Blue Door if they want any more information, or if they need help for a friend and someone's listening to this and they're like, my God, that sounds perfect?
Well, listen, you can reach out to me at michael.b@bluedoor.ca. You can check out Blue Door at bluedoor.ca. And across, you mentioned Edmonton, across the country, there's organizations doing incredible work. I mean, part of what we do on the podcast, On the Way Home podcast, is we feature people from around the world that are not complaining about this or just, defeated, but they're coming up with incredible creative solutions. I saw someone in the chat mention Finland. Finland as a country has ended homelessness, right? And that doesn't mean that, you can't walk down the street and point, there's someone that. It means that if you need that service, if you need housing, if you need affordable housing, it's there. And Canada could do the same, right? So there's incredible people doing that. My team at Blue Door doing the real heroes are on the front line doing that life-saving work. Reach out to us at any time. If it's not us, we'll get you to the right people that will help.
Yeah. Good. Tell me about Giving Tuesday before we let you go, Michael. Yeah, we love you guys. Tell me about Giving Tuesday, because this is really why we wanted to have you here. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. Giving Tuesday starts tomorrow. So it goes the 15th to the 29th. This year at Blue Door, we're trying to raise $40,000. And really what we're trying to do is we're trying to give gifts of dignity this year. Dignity is often missed, where people will think, well, this is good enough. And if you ask yourself, it's not good enough for you, it's just not good enough for someone else. So the gifts of so people can live a dignified life, and that, things like food, toiletries, clothing, bedding, all the necessities to breaking that cycle of poverty. We want to raise $40,000 over the next couple of weeks to make sure everyone can live a dignified life moving forward.
Good. Well, count us in. We're all aboard. We're all aboard the Blue Door train with Michael Braithwaite. Boom, boom, boom. Giving Tuesday. Go to Blue Door for more information. I highly encourage you to do so. All their information is in our description of this podcast. Michael, great to see you. Really excited to work with you deeper, more, and moving forward. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of time today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Michael.
guys. Take care.
Thanks for what
Talk
you
to you
do.
soon. Michael Braithwaite, maybe the nicest person you'll ever meet. Every time I talk to him,
Not
I'm
enough
like,
people like that.
I know,
No.
dude. And they're fucking doing the real work. They're not begging for
Yeah.
money.
And I-
They're
and
not
I
Can I tell you a
for
quick?
business.
Can I tell you a quick story that sort of ties into this? So this is quite a few
Doubt
years
it's
ago.
quick,
We were.
but yes, you
It's
can.
quick. Quite a few years ago, we were talking about in this type of thing, homelessness and how to fix it. And we had a guy call up in Edmonton, and I still know this guy. Still, every once in a blue moon, keep in touch with him. So this guy was on the streets, living in Toronto, and he was in an alley, and he was on drugs and hopeless, and he was sleeping behind a restaurant. And a guy that owns the restaurant would come in the mornings, and he would ask him for money. And this went on for a couple months, and the guy would go, "Nope, I'm not giving you any money, but I'll give you a job. I got a job for you in the kitchen, and I got a place where you can stay downstairs, but you got to work for it." And they'd be like, "Oh, fuck off!" Right? Week later, same thing. Week later, same thing. Finally, this guy goes, "Okay, I'll do it." He credits that man for turning around his life because
He gave him a job, gave him a purpose.
And we had him on the air, and he told that story, and it just hit home for me because, again, the courage that guy had to offer him a job in his place of business, looking and the state he was in is unbelievable, and there's just not enough people like that. But that guy, that restaurant owner in downtown Toronto, saved that guy's life.
Mhm.
And now he's got a trades job. He lives in Alberta here, works hard, he's got a family.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's happy to be there, right?
Yeah.
Like he's happy.
Oh,
he's
could have
happy
died.
because he's got. Well, that's the thing. He has
Could have died in
purpose.
that alley.
Right.
Yeah.
Give someone a purpose.
It
Right?
makes a huge difference.
It's the old adage: you give someone a fish, and they'll eat it. If you teach them to fish, fuck you or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
something about giving him a pole or something. No, I like what Mike does because it's like he said, he
That's what
Give the
Mike
guy some
does.
fish. Watch it get taken by a pelican.
yeah.
Something.
If you don't,
But then
Teach
the pelican's
them
close
how to-
enough, you can wring its neck, and you got a meal for a week.
Yeah, then you got dinner.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Well, as long as you can
That's one.
salt it, you got to
Yeah,
salt
yeah.
it, man.
You
If you
gotta-
don't
you
salt
do.
it,
Yeah, go ahead, Linz. You wanted to say something? We keep
No, his
purpose.
the way that we're all guilty of this, I think, and we try and we use homelessness as a talking point when we're criticizing government policy and action, but we don't actually look at what is causing the homelessness, who is affected by it, and what groups are, like how different it is for a black homeless person and a gay homeless person and a senior homeless person. We just blanket it with the word homeless or houseless or whatever they want to call it.
it's different for everybody.
We've got politically
between
correct
homes.
Well, we've got politically correct terms, and so instead of focusing on the actual problem, we're just focusing on the semantics, right? And what and Blue Door does is they focus on the small things that actually fix the problem. So I think what he does is fantastic.
I do too.
It's
I do
great.
too. Anytime
Can I-
you can
can
give
I-
someone purpose. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I take
Go
a
ahead,
minute
Paulie.
or two here? I got a couple of things to say about
Depends
this.
on how hammered you are. Are you like
I'm not.
6
It's
out of 10?
only third glass of wine. Only third. Only third.
All right,
This
go
is,
ahead.
There's a couple more. There's a
He
lot of
does
sounds.
not like any signs of emotion from the drunk. Trust me,
No,
he
no.
shuts me
So-
down.
so
too,
here's the
Paul.
thing.
When I
So
get
here's the
drunk,
thing.
it shuts me down.
Okay,
Yeah.
so back in 2015,
Yeah.
autumn of 2014, company I'm working for has reduced my hours from I was working 60 hours a week to 50 to 40 to 30 to 20 to 10. And you work 10 hours a week for 4 months, that's pretty hard to make the rent bill. So as a result, I said, well, listen, I can't do this. Just lay me off so I can get EI. And they said, okay, we'll give you a layoff and we'll hire you back when things turn around. And I went, okay, cool. Well, things didn't turn around. 8 weeks later, I'm like, I'm out of money. I've exhausted my savings. I've cashed out my RRSPs because over a 6-month period, I went from earning stupid money to earning no money. Oh, and the only reason I was earning stupid money was because I was working 60 to 75 hours a week because they were not paying me very well to begin with. Now, End of the year comes around, Christmas time, and I call my family. I go, look, I can't afford to buy anybody anything this year. I can't. I have no money. January rolls around, and I am applying for welfare. I literally had to go in and fill out all the forms because I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent. And I went to my landlord and I said, look, here's my situation. They said, it's okay, Paul, we'll work something out. I'm like, are you serious? They go, yeah, well, we know you're going through a hard time, but you've been a good tenant. We'll figure it out. I'm like, okay. So I filled out all the forms to apply for welfare. You have no fucking idea how many shit fucking forms they make you fill out. I have top secret clearance. I've asked less questions for top secret than I had to fill out welfare to give me $750, which I didn't have to take because a friend of mine called me up and said, how you doing? I said, not good. He goes, here's $1,000. You don't have to ever pay me back. Someday somebody will need some help and you will help them. And I'm like, done. I will never forget that as long as I live. And I never will, because I was literally at the end of my rope. So I go to the welfare office because I had the appointment and I said, I don't need it. I got a job. I start next week. They're going to pay me $75,000 a year. Everything's good. So I went from literally nothing to the most money I'd ever earned in my life at that point. And then I ended up earning a little bit more because I got promoted and things went better. And then it went south and then everything went to shit. But the thing was, I had a couple of good years.
This is like a Hollywood movie, but really fucked.
But after like the worst period of my life, the worst period of my life,
holding classes, Lachlan,
where I was literally struggling to the point of like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was severely depressed and I couldn't afford medication. So I remember my family called me up and said, are you okay? And I said, no, I'm not good. I'm really not good. And I go, what do you mean? How can I help you? What can I do? I'm like, I just landed a new job. I'll keep you posted. So I got the letter of confirmation from my employer at the time, and I sent it to my family and they said, congratulations, it's so great. I'm like, yeah, it's great, it's wonderful. And things were good for a very long time. And then, then they weren't, but whatever, life. But the thing was the absolute debilitating degree of sadness, depression, anxiety. Well, I mean, I couldn't pay my rent.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I was like this close to going to the food bank. I didn't have to.
No,
I got lucky. I didn't have to. I landed a job and my friend sent me some money and he said, don't ever pay me back, pay it forward. Find someone who needs help and help them too. And I said, I will, and honest to God, I will never forget that as long as I live. Mm-hmm. As long as I live, I will never forget that, because it really taught me the lesson of how close so many people in this country are to being on the streets. There are millions of people.
I think it's a lot closer.
More than we know. Yeah, more than we think.
Most people are one paycheck away from homelessness.
Yeah.
I'm not middle class. I'm still working class. I'm 20 grand shy of hitting the middle class mark to live in my neighborhood. This is reality. Don't get me wrong. I don't starve, and I'm able to go to the pub on a Friday night and have a couple of beers, but
you haven't had to give any paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, but you haven't had to give any hand jobs at the Greyhound station either, so you're doing pretty good.
Well,
they closed it. They closed it down, so
mustache. I don't know.
Well, yeah. If you want to make that story better, throw the hand jobs in at the Greyhound. I think that's
I didn't have to get to that.
You should.
That explains this, by the way.
We'll
yeah.
I wanted to stop. Hey, Chris, I wanted to stop. It has to fucking stop.
Then it stops when the government lifts the mandates.
You fucking idiot! The mandates are provincial. No.
You want to know what the best part of that is, guys? You know what the best part of that is? The guy who filmed that fucking memes the shit out of me 5 or 6 times a week with one of that image and one of another image. And here's the best part. A buddy of mine here in Ottawa, Spacey Dacey Media, says,
you're famous.
Dude, I'm screwing that guy over so hard. It's because all he ever does is meme me, which means I live in his brain rent fucking free.
Yeah, dude, you own that guy. You own the whoever's memeing you to death. All I know is that's still one of it's my favorite moment.
Looks like you got a huge nose too.
Yeah, and you got a massive nose, so congratulations.
Oh, here, I'll send you a photo. Here, I'll send you a photo, Dean.
No, I don't need to see it. I believe you because you have a huge nose.
Yeah,
And
we
don't
are
have
at
the
that
huge
point in
noses work with
the
the
pod
huge
when
hammer.
he's that drunk. All
Yeah,
of a sudden
exactly.
he's
No,
sharing
I'm not.
dick
I'm not
pics.
that. I'm not that drunk. I'll get
So,
there soon.
just to first of all, let me just say this. Thank you for telling that story. It's embarrassing to talk about those things, but it makes people feel really fucking normal when they're going through a tough time. So I appreciate
That's why I told
that.
it. That's
And
why I
I'm
told
glad
it.
you did, because we just had our official sponsor, Blue Door, on, who they're trying to end homelessness. And you're talking to people that live on this podcast. Some of us live on this podcast. It's a struggle. I mean, it's a struggle to be able to do certain things. And purpose is a big part of everybody's life. So the fact that you've got purpose now is a big deal. And it's a big deal to me because we're supposed to be doing this together, right? Which is why I don't understand, now that we're in the heat of flu season, why it's so hard to fucking put on a mask. This is the biggest problem everybody has today.
I
Like,
think
we've been
we're
doing this
getting
for
better
3
though.
fucking years. I don't think we are.
Hold on. Okay, I don't think we're getting better at wearing the mask.
No.
I think we're getting the conversation about the mask is less toxic than it was a year ago. Is that fair? Linz? Give me that.
Well, that poll that you put out on your Twitter actually was a beautiful social experiment yesterday. And you can see here, 57% of people on the poll that Lachlan put out asking, are you going to start wearing a mask again, said yes. 34% said no, and 8.3 just wanted to know if Theo was going to wear one.
And I think
that's great. But that's almost 15. That's almost 1,500. That's like a Leger poll. Like that's the numbers that they use for like actual polls. So
yes,
what I find fascinating is if you read the comments that were on the replies to this poll, every one of them was pro mask. Yes, I wear a mask. I still wear a mask. I never stopped wearing a mask. I will wear a mask.
Yeah.
Last year, if you would have put that poll out, it would have been filled with fuck masks. They don't fucking do anything. Fuck you.
Freedom.
Yes. You know what it is? The narrative is shifting. The narrative is shifting to the side of now you look stupid and everybody knows it. And like you're looking dumb. Like people are starting to realize maybe I look a little bit fucking idiotic.
No, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Because you have 34% of 1,500. There's a lot of people that usually would have fucking said something.
Yeah,
they usually would have said
skewed
something.
to Alberta too. Like that's the 34%. You do this poll here, it's like 14%. Wow. But you're in Alberta,
and there was no words.
You guys helped me out. That I think I got it to like 900, and then I sent you guys a note last night and said, hey, because I wanted to see if I could get some numbers. I think it closed because I kept it up for about 15 hours. It closed at 8 a.m. this morning, and it got to 16 and 60%. Said yes with final number. You must have read that a couple of hours before it closed.
My point is I agree with you because I think the narrative is shifting towards the fact that people that are the anti-mask are realizing how ridiculous they are, and they don't want to speak publicly about it anymore because like I say, the replies on that tweet were way more than 50%, 7%.
Like 95% of the comments were positive.
Yeah.
The only I was shocked that you had all those because you live in the same city as Jamie Saleh, right?
Yikes.
Yeah, right? But again, I keep telling you guys, and it's the joke, it's the trope, it's the Alberta stigma. But Alberta is
all the convoy
far
organizers,
more liberal. And I think you guys would be very surprised. It really is.
Not me, Locke. I used to live in Cold Lake. I have a lot of family in Alberta. I know the loud, outspoken voices are the rural, mostly conservatives, but I'd say the vast majority of the population is much more center left than anything else.
Well, explain this.
Yes, and you see it with how they.
Go ahead. I'll wait.
Go on, Dean.
Okay, so explain this.
I was just going to say, you see how we vote in local politics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But let me get to Jamie Saleh. So and also give you some context. Okay. So Jamie Saleh is an idiot. We all know that. Former Olympics pairs figure skater. She whined her way into gold. Let's be honest. She bitched and moaned and pissed and whined her way into that gold medal. That's all she is. 20 years ago.
They were pretty talented.
No, she pissed and moaned her way into it. So anyway,
the Russians
Jamie
were hard
Saleh,
on her too.
Yeah, Jamie Saleh her brain was fried by the pandemic. We all know that right now.
Yeah.
So every hospital across this beautiful country of ours, every single one, is at 100% capacity for their pediatric ICU units. Every single one. Let me give you some more context. Here in Ontario, Sick Kids Hospital is postponing really vital surgeries for kids because they're like, we got too many people here with COVID, the flu, and the cold, like really extreme cases. Can't do it because of COVID, flu season, the cold, no masks.
RSV.
That's why everybody's saying RSV, respiratory illness for kids, COVID, fucking in the hospital for weeks. Some are dying. Fuck, it's on. It's serious. It's a big deal, right?
Yep.
So Ontario today decides to help the kids out. They're just going to ask people to wear masks today.
Yeah.
That's what Dr. Kieran Moore said. He strongly recommends that we wear masks.
Okay.
And then Siobhan Moore, CTV, breaks it down. A reminder, this is not a direction, but advice. Moore also recommending parents, get a load of this. Mask their kids aged 2 to 5 if they can handle it. He says kids under 5 are at most risk for bad outcomes. Then he says Moore recommends keeping babies away from crowds. Anybody who has flu season. Then he says, big change here is that Moore is recommending parents, this is fucking unbelievable, parents and siblings mask in their own homes if they have cold or flu, and if there are young children at home to prevent them from falling into the deepest kind of illness. Mandating masks for schools and childcare, though, is just being discussed, not coming today. No mandates. So let me tell you what that means. This is fucking unbelievable. I get emotional, I get angry when I talk about it. So I'm going to try and calm down.
Understandably so.
Here's what he said. Schools where we have jurisdiction to make people wear masks so that people don't get sick and we can kind of get on top of this thing, don't bother. Keep doing whatever you want. In your home, though, wear a mask.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said.
Yep.
He didn't say, we're going to put a public blanket over schools. We're going to help kids. We're going to go into these spaces. You know what? Make those kids and yourself wear masks at home. So they have flipped it. They have absolutely flipped the recommendation where they said, you know what? We're not going to mandate it, but we're going to tell you to wear a fucking mask in front of your kids at your home if you have the sniffles all the time. We're not going to make you do that either, but we're going to take the onus off the state and the institution, and we're going to put it right into your fucking house. Yep. That's what we're doing. That is how we're dealing with it.
That way,
and then
that
on
way
top
he can.
of
I don't
it,
know, guys.
After that happened, no, that's exactly what they're saying. And after that happened, because everybody's like, "Oh, we should probably wear some masks." Jamie Saleh went on a fucking tear.
Oh, did she ever?
This is her first tweet from this weekend, which got her in a lot of trouble. If you start complying again with masks and segregation papers, back to the Nazi shit, then you've already forgotten Remembrance Day. Those who fought and died for your freedom would be hanging their head in shame. They didn't fight war for you to bend a knee to the government and be a slave, lest we forget. So she's mocking our war dead in our Canadian military. Rise up, stand up, do not comply. This is about a mask. This is about wearing a mask. It's 1 millimeter thick.
Same group as the danced and pissed on the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, right?
That's
the
ones.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Those guys. The one that really did her in this weekend was this one.
This one.
Yeah.
Where she's like, hashtag truth, hashtag fact, hashtag I don't consent, hashtag stop the shots, alert, this is a meme. There's a word for sticking something in someone using coercion, threats, or bribery. Vaccine coercion is medical rape. So she thinks getting vaccinated is now akin to being raped. So she's mocking rape victims in that next tweet. Why? Now, here's the question you are asking yourself. Why? Why is she doing that? Because she doesn't want to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Suck on that today. Suck on that when you're assessing whether or not she's insane. This is to the point. I had a conversation with a mutual friend of ours, hers and mine. She will never know who this person is. You know what they told me today? Kids aren't allowed to be around her. Her baby daddies won't allow it. She doesn't leave her house. When she does, it's to go to events, church events. She is literally brainwashed. She is literally lost. None of her friends like her anymore. Her family has disowned her. And she sits in her fucking house in Edmonton and she fires off these ridiculous
She needs help.
false equivalencies of a vaccine being like being raped. I watched rape victims come out of the fucking woodwork yesterday. Go, was she
So did I.
serious?
Yeah, I watched people tell their stories on Twitter yesterday because they were so affected by what she said. They're like, I've never shared this publicly, but here's my rape story. This is nothing like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Thousands of them.
And the fact that you compelled people to do that. You compelled people to you're not making the change you think you are.
Yeah.
You know, like you're
fucking wild. Right?
She needs serious therapeutic help. I mean, it's a really sad story of a public person who was once an Olympic hero. And I have a thing for Olympic athletes because most of them don't earn any money, right?
Me too.
On their way up, right?
Like the jockey that rode Big Ben. I thought he was hot.
Okay, so he's kind of a dick, actually. But no, I got a thing for Olympic athletes because so many of them work and toil in obscurity. They don't get the spotlight. They might start to make money towards the end of the career if they're in a medal position, right? But so many of them work in toil in obscurity, and then when they make the spotlight, like Penny Alexiak, who at 16 years of age is suddenly thrust into the spotlight above her brother, who is an NHL player. I just hit a camera there. I talk animatedly.
You're Italian.
No, I'm not actually.
I made that up. You're Portuguese.
It's suddenly this 16-year-old girl who is just trying to go to school with her friends and just live a normal teenage life.
Yeah.
So it's like I have an admiration for Olympic athletes in the sense that they don't have necessarily the same sort of star machine that grooms them to be, right? They suddenly are thrust into the spotlight. Now, Jamie Salé had been a skater who had been.
Well, I think we're a little. I think we're a little off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to say we don't need to get into a biography of Jamie Salé here.
I am going somewhere. I am going somewhere though, Locke. I am going somewhere.
No.
Okay. Let him try and bring it back into the middle.
I'm going to bring it back into the middle.
Dude, he's had 4 glasses of red. Of course he's
three.
Three. Sorry, go ahead.
So
wrecking his apartment.
I'm good.
So Jamie Salé, who had been a skater in the spotlight for a long time, had been told constantly, you're a star, you're a star, you're a star. Then she got made money. Then she did a Playboy thing. Then she did this. Then she did that. And everybody whispered into her head, you can do no wrong. And now suddenly she's been brainwashed into thinking that all of this garbage she's been spewing out over the last year is right. And everybody that tells her otherwise is a detractor who is trying to take her down off her perch. So I think part of the system has created this. Please correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen. What are your thoughts on that?
That might be part of it. I think part of it is she's really stupid.
Oh, there's that too. I don't question her lack of intelligence. That's very much a part of it, and that she's easily manipulated. But if somebody is constantly telling you you're a star, you're a superstar, you're this, you're that,
ego.
And then boom, you've got somebody who tells you something that falls within your echo chamber, and you just hear it over and over and over again.
To Paul's point, I know you were trying to get him back on the rails, but to Paul's point, if I'm going to pick that out real quick, he's correct. And I'll tell you why he's correct. Because a couple months ago, she puts out this tweet. I am an Olympic gold medalist. I am a Canadian hero. I do know what I'm talking about. Fuck you guys. Like, it's there. I mean, it's there in her tweets. It's there in what she does. It's there what she said. Sorry, Locke. You wanted to have you go ahead.
I wasn't questioning where Paul was going. What I wanted to do was I wanted to just say out loud that we shouldn't let Jamie Salé represent this portion of the population or any portion of the population.
Agreed.
I think she's an isolated case, and I think we need to, that's what I'm trying to do with this as we move on here. Like, I'm trying to focus less on people. Like, this is not Jamie Salé hasn't started a revolution. There aren't millions of people following her. There aren't millions of people that believe her.
Thank goodness.
She is an isolated incident, an isolated situation, and I think we give her way too much. We give her way too much airtime. And again, I think what we do is we give her all that airtime, gives her cause more weight than it actually has. Listen, I think the majority of people out there, if somebody says listen, our hospitals are in trouble. The kids are getting really, really sick right now. We got this happening and this happening. Can you throw a mask on? I'm going to go, okay. I grabbed masks yesterday, put them in the car, put them by the door, and put them in my bag. Now when I go out, I'm going to put a mask on again. I'm going to start masking. That was kind of the reason why I sent that Twitter poll out, to see if other people were in the same frame of mind. When I go out and I see somebody with a mask, I don't automatically think that there's some side of a communist. If I see somebody without a mask on, I'm not going to get angry about it.
No, they might not be informed.
We put way too much weight on these people that seem to get this attention that they don't deserve, in my opinion. Jamie Saleh does not deserve the attention that she's getting. And unfortunately, I think she's propping up a situation that isn't as strong as I think she thinks it is. Dean?
I would totally agree with you.
Completely.
But I would also say this, is that if we don't pay attention to it, if we don't tell people how crazy she is, if we don't mock her, that's a problem too. That is a problem too. And the reason why it's a problem is because a lot of people don't know the things we know about Jamie Saleh. A lot of people aren't on Twitter, right? A lot of people might just hear or see this and go, fuck yeah, she's right on. I saw it on Twitter. Like, she was, Jamie Saleh has ruined her life.
Completely.
Ruined it.
Yeah.
If 3 months ago, a visit to a psychiatric facility may have put her on better standing, she may have been able to come back from this, get a job,
she's gone,
join Ice Capades, act like an asshole for money, I guess. I mean, she may have been able to do it.
Yep.
This guarantees that she will not.
No, she's done.
Mocking rape victims so she doesn't have to get vaccinated. That guarantees that she won't. Mocking our war dead. That guarantees that she won't. She crossed the fucking Rubicon this weekend.
Yeah.
You know what though? You know what, gentlemen? Put up the one where her vaccine rape thing is, if you could, Dean.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So see how she spells vaccine? That's done in leet speak, right? Which means it's not actually a word. So that'll be her cop out. You watch and see.
They do that so she doesn't get
I doubt that. Yeah.
Well, you never know. You never know. That's all I'm saying is, like, that'll be her cop out. Well, I didn't know.
Hard to cop it out, dude. She's been like begging for the Nuremberg trials, begging for them, like this guy.
The rope thing, the whole she
posts this shit, talking about vaccines and Nazis. Here, talking with Mark Friesen, Friesen, the guy with Swiss cheese lungs. Speed of science. I want speed of justice. Hang some people. Genocide. Yes, well said, Mark. She says, and then she fucking reposts this news.
Yeah, that one. That's like
it's just, she needs some fucking help. That's what I'm
She
saying.
needs-
Is that
You know,
we draw attention
I mean,
to that stuff.
the other side of
Be
this
serious.
too is I think a lot of people came out, like, went through what we went through and didn't fare well, right? I mean, I don't know. I've met Jamie. I don't know her. Something went sideways. Something happened to her.
Jesus.
to end her on this path, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I think we all have I think everybody on this panel and everybody listening knows somebody personally that went sideways in the last couple of years. And you know what? It's not about people. Every time I'm still getting angry tweets from people about my comments about Elon Musk. I don't like Elon Musk. I wasn't defending Elon Musk. I was just saying he's not a fucking idiot. He's a billionaire and still the richest man in the world and lost half his money. And people are still mad that I said that. We can be angry at these people, but I think another way of approaching this is going, what happened here? Like, a lot of people are in trouble because of what we went through, and we know them personally. Some are famous.
Don't care.
It's not just because of something it's not because of what we went through, Locke. I think there's a lot of cognitively recessed folks in this world that have been around forever who don't think that famous people can be crazy. So whatever they say must be true. We saw it happen in the United States in 2016. Look at what's going on with Kanye fucking West right now. Like, people just put so much stock into it just because they've got. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Billions.
Did you watch
From
Chappelle
billions
on
to
SNL,
millions?
Vince?
Yeah. Oh, he's
He
brilliant.
went from
Yeah.
billions. Now he wears his chain, as
Yeah,
Dave
yeah.
Chappelle said.
Millionaires wear chains around their shirts. Billionaires don't. And Chappelle's like, I guess you better put that chain under your shirt.
So yeah,
But-
no, I just think this just kind of opened it up. This busted the door open and it
Yeah.
opened the curtains to show you how gullible and stupid a lot of our people and they were taken advantage of. Jamie Saleh being one of them. I don't think she's stupid, but I don't think she's very smart either. But I also think she may have been desperate. She had a spotlight on her at one point.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee you it was a call from Theo Fleury that said, hey, listen, you want to make some money? You want to be a somebody again?
Yep.
Come with me.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what's
Maybe.
happened here. So-
Maybe.
Well, and you know
Maybe.
what, Paul, I think the underlying theme of Paul's point as well,
Mhm.
interestingly enough, just knowing a couple of people that achieved a certain level of success in sport,
Mhm.
boom, they hit a certain age and it's over, and you're starting to scratch again. That's
Mhm.
very difficult on, like, we're dealing with that with our daughter right now, who spent 8 years at the Royal Winnipeg Ballet, a couple years in Europe, and is now teaching, and we're sitting at the edge of our seats
Waiting for
watching
the crash.
right, just making
Yeah.
sure she's okay, because she
Yeah.
was such a like high performing
Yeah.
personality, and now she doesn't have that in her life.
Yeah.
That
And the
outlet.
teaching thing seems to be filling that hole. We're worried
The roar of
about
the crowd is gone.
her
right?
mental health,
There's no crowd. There's
right?
no applause. There's no love. There's no
Yeah.
adulation anymore.
But now
So-
she's found a
a
crowd.
lot of these
right? Like, she's found a
athletes-
crowd of psychos.
a lot of these
and the crowd of
athletes-
psychos
Yes.
make her feel really good about where she's at because she's always wrong. They're always wrong. They're always
Ding,
wrong
ding, ding,
together.
ding, ding.
Yeah, exactly. It's all
Yeah.
about community. Paulie, I'm going to let you split.
But
Really
Thanks,
appreciate
brother.
you being here. Paulie's World from the True North Eager Beaver podcast
see
is
you,
where you can
Paul.
find him. Download it. I love that you just jumped in. Jump in all week. You're on vacation. Follow
I
him
will.
at Paulie's World. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, buddy.
All right. Take care.
All right. Take care. There's Paulie, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not
From-
against seeing
there he is again.
his dick either. I mean,
No, I'm
I'd be
not
curious.
interested in
I know
What?
he's got one queued up and ready to go. I'd
Yeah,
have a
nice.
look. I'd see
Yeah,
You wanna
yours.
take-
Yeah, I'd look at yours too. Not because I want to see
Yeah,
it, but
I'd
it's
have
like
a look.
I just want to see how
Like
you
right now?
right? Yeah. Here's a
Every
question.
time Dean offers to show us,
Oh,
his dick,
we have
I
company.
go-
Never mind.
Hey, dude, we got a client on. Relax.
We have
Stop with the
company.
dick
Stop.
talk. Yeah. Look at his
I've
shirt.
seen Colin's.
Colin, quick question before we get started. Colin Livingston from our partner Cantork joins us, cantork.com for more information. We'll get to exactly what Cantork is and why you're a
Around.
Canadian legend already
Turn
in
around.
just a second. But
Turn around.
Colin,
I
real
love
quick,
the shirt.
has any of the
Call it.
conversation we've had about
Turn around.
penises, Pete Davidson, Emily Ratajkowski, masks, Jamie Saleh, has any of it turned you off as a client? Yes or no?
It's all pretty interesting. First hour, I was kind of popping in and out of shops, so I heard the intro speaking, out of the realm of fact about me. I was hearing about mask mandates, and I popped back in, and I was listening to it. Was kind of fascinating about the kind of confused me because I didn't really see. Turned off? No, I mean great, and being able to hammer some of these points. My belief is that considering other people's opinions, even I can still listen to understand where somebody's coming from. You can repackage it in a way.
Yeah, totally you can. If I'm to get what you said correct, it's like you have your own brain and you can think outside of that. Oh, and look at the Lachlan shirt. He's got the fucking Hail Satan Lachlan shirt on. He bought it from the store. That's how you know he's a partner, right? Not just a client. He's a partner. He actually went to the Dean Blundell store, got the Hail Satan shirt with Lachlan's picture on the back of it in the middle of a pentagram. Now we're having some problems with your audio, Colin, and I'm not too sure why. You're kind of cutting in and out. But we'll
Okay.
try and muddle through it. But before we get going, I just want to thank you for coming on board. Now, if anybody is aware of who Colin is, he owns a beautiful company called Cantork. Cantork is a company that does something nobody else in this country does. They're Canada's assembly tool experts, but they do it all in Canada. You know how you hear the stories about how individuals that own businesses that manufacture things take their manufacturing overseas? You know those people, Locke? You know those people, Ryan? You know those guys are like,
I know exactly
I'm
who
gonna
you're
get an extra
talking
couple
about.
cents from this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get myself an ATV. I'm gonna get myself a nice. Yeah, he did the opposite. Now you could say it was a bad business decision, but really it's not. What Cantork and why I love this company is they do something nobody else in this country does as well as they do it, but they also sacrificed huge. You know, Colin, you sacrificed to bring manufacturing in the last couple of years back to Canada. It's uniquely a Canadian story. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll go from there, and we'll try and get this audio going, because I love your story, the origin story of Cantork, and what you've decided to do for the people in your community is just truly incredible.
Sure. Is that any better now? I usually use my head for some reason on this feed. They all right?
Yeah. Do you have headphones?
No.
Actually, no, you don't have headphones.
I have them, but they're through there for some reason.
What it's doing, if you're hearing us on a speaker, it's because you've got that echo cancellation's on, Dean. This is what we have every time with every.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's all.
you're going to have to go through the your settings on Restream. You need to shut off noise suppression and echo cancellation. You're going to have to do that. But in the middle of a show. So do you know where noise suppression and echo cancellation is on your call?
Yeah, I got it. Noise is not active, so I can't change this off.
Okay. So that's okay. We're going to try and figure this out. Maybe we'll have to do another one and we'll work out the kinks. You're going to be around here for a long time. I'm not worried. I just wanted people to see you in your shirt. And I also wanted to talk about bringing on Cantork and real quick, what you guys are all about. Take us through what Cantork is, and we'll be able to piece this together as you go. And then we'll talk a little bit about why you brought manufacturing back to Canada, and then we'll let you get back to work because we're just interrupting you at this point, Colin.
Anyway, but no, cat manufacturer. We specialize in fabricating. So what an industrial torque wrench is, or to a conventional torque wrench for larger fat.
Oh, we're having he's Gandhi.
Yeah.
We'll bring him back.
Is it us? Is it us? What is it every time I want to put someone
this
on?
isn't
really
it's
like, fuck, is it us? Are we just technically
it's
challenged?
It's the conversation we had offline about what's going on. That's all. But I'm sure we can get it fixed and we can have Colin back.
I don't think we can.
We can. We have him back. We can have him back. We're just.
What I'm saying is, I don't think we can have it fixed.
Well,
we've been doing this for like fucking months with Restream. It's like a program we use and it still won't work.
Yeah,
we keep telling him it doesn't work. Yeah,
no,
I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah, same here. It's getting very frustrating. But
I'm glad you guys have finally caught up to me.
We're doing this just to make you feel better. You just get mad faster. That's all it is.
Yeah. You've been saying it for
I was
months,
at 100 about 2 months ago.
Yeah, I know.
You were.
It sucks
with this program.
Because I wanted to
because
talk
you
about
guys
Cantork.
kept telling me it was me.
No, it's not. It's us.
Well, I still
Colin's
think
a good
you.
guy.
I don't even know what it is.
Colin is a very interesting entrepreneur. Took a chance.
Lachlan's just relieved that we're not going to hear how cheap he is today.
Oh no, God, no. Colin has lots of stories. And you could probably bring multiple guests on. Listen, Colin is a very interesting businessman. I mean, there's guys out there that take a chance, and there's guys out there that are successful. Colin took a chance that I bet you could. There's 5 people in Canada that would have done what he did.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it is paid off for him. And
what do you mean in terms of bringing manufacturing back to Edmonton, like bringing it back to Canada? Yeah.
Yes. And under the climate, he's been successful in an environment that does not allow businesses like his to be successful.
Yeah.
Right. We don't support this kind of entrepreneur, that kind of spirit. That's not supported. I think we do okay in Canada. We're better than other countries, but what he does and what he's managed to accomplish in this country and in Alberta is wildly unique. And I get a lot of people probably don't even know, because I still not positive what he does. Like, I couldn't sit there and explain it or draft a paragraph on what he does, but I know he works with companies all around the world and he's producing stuff here in Canada. and has had to jump through hoops, man, like you wouldn't believe, to get that done. Yeah, and
just to bring manufacturing back, it's like unpopular from a financial standpoint, right? Like, it's one of the things that everybody does when you get to a certain point. You're like, how can I get more margin out of this? How can I get more money for me? And what Colin did was the opposite of that, to your point, wildly fucking unpopular to say to the people that you work with, hey, listen, we're going to bring manufacturing back, but that's what they do. And when you ask what they do, they make tools nobody else does. Like if it's a loosener or fastener, Canada's leading industrial tool experts, giving you the best in sales, service, rentals, calibration, maintenance, custom fabrication of industrial torque tools. So if you can loosen it or fasten it, doesn't matter how big it is, they'll invent and fabricate and manufacture a tool that you can't find anywhere else on this planet. So it's like, nuclear power plants, mining companies, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He does what nobody does. And what he did was, which was fascinating when we started talking to him, because he's got a podcast coming up. We're helping him with that.
Nice.
And he's actually interested in telling his story, which I love. Right. And the story is, listen, I'm going to do something for my community that's going to be wildly unpopular with bankers, that goes against the grain of everybody else doing business, trying to hurt Canadians. He's going to try and help the Canadians that he employs. And it's truly fucking an amazing story, because it shouldn't have worked, right? It should not be working, but it works because he's a good human being and a great Canadian who's like, listen, we've got a business. We do something nobody else does. So if you need industrial sized torque wrenches, tools, etc., we're able and capable of actually creating those for you. And on top of it, he's got this sense of social responsibility. Like, dude, we were talking to the guy from Blue Door about how he helps people, and just being that individual that has the ability to do so in his own community, where he starts business, then he brings people in and he gets them to work in that business. It's altruistic, but it's smart, because you're not only giving people purpose, you're helping your community, right?
Yep.
So it's just a fucking solid business plan. And when we get our tech issues out, we'll have him back and we'll talk a little bit about how cheap you are too, because he said going out with you is literally the most painful thing in the entire world.
It is.
Because what happens is there's like this stare down at the end of a meeting, because he lives in Edmonton. He's like, I look at Lachlan, he looks at me, and I just know he's not touching his wallet. He's not reaching into his coat to grab his wallet, and he's not reaching into his back pocket to pay for a meal. Not that I have a problem with it, Lach. I don't have a problem with it, because I know exactly who you are. But at the same time, I was really looking forward to hearing that story. So we'll have those stories coming up the next couple of weeks, I would imagine. Did he just bail?
No,
did we lose him too?
No, I think he's down there. Oh, no, he's gone now.
Locksky?
I don't know. Is it just us now? And then there was two?
And there was two. It's just you and me.
Can we keep him there? Oh, I was hoping he was going to stay.
I don't even know if he's going to stick around.
I just liked his
like
face.
His face was like this when it was frozen.
Yeah, it looked like he. Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gone.
Yeah.
That's a shame. But
I
anyway,
think he's mad.
What do you think he's mad about? How could he? Why? What does he have?
He's mad at the tech. About? He's one of those boomers that gets really mad at technology when it doesn't work.
Ever?
Isn't it great?
I don't even understand it. I don't understand why you get so like even this is pissing me off, because I was really excited to have Colin on to Stuart Lachlan, talk about his business, talk about what we're doing together. Cantork.com for more information, by the way, as per the slide that we just held up. We'll figure it out, I guess. It's kind of the only thing we can do. But thanks to our friends at Cantork for making this possible. Go to Cantork.com. If you're looking for more information on a socially minded Canadian company that wants to employ and help other Canadians, and if you're looking for a solid Canadian solution when it comes to tooling, fastening, loosening, industrial experts, Cantork makes rugged, hardworking, beautiful torque wrenches. Canada's leading industrial tool experts, offering you the very best in sales, service, rentals, calibration, maintenance, and custom fabrications. Industrial torque tools. No matter the scale of your bolting project, they have your solution. Go to Cantork.com today and check them out. And wait for his podcast, which is coming out in the next, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks.
That's going to be fun.
My schedule is correct. Yeah, it is. It's going to be good.
I like it.
Because he talks about racing, too, because he races with Alex Tagliani. He's a big go-kart guy. He does what we all wish we could do. Runs a business.
Yeah.
Takes him a couple of months in the summer to fucking go as fast as he can with his hair on fire on a track. He's one of Canada's racing legends. Then he does it again in this next summer. That's what he does.
Yeah, it's live a dream and doing it sustainably for Canadians. That's so important. It's such a cool part of his story. I love that.
I do too.
Really do.
Anyway,
I feel bad for Locke. It's been a bad day. Tech problems and Emily Ratajkowski and
yeah, her and Pete Davidson really sent him for a loop today. Eh?
Really did.
Yeah, he was mad.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
He never came back.
He's like the ugly guy's hero, right? He's every man's hero. Every guy that sees a woman who's way out of his league, sees a guy with a girl, you should be congratulating him. You shouldn't be angry at him. You should be happy about it.
If you were given the choice, if they said, Dean, the gods are smiling on you, you're going to be the rebound guy, would you take the job?
Yeah, I'm not an idiot.
I was like asking questions like that and wait for people to say no, and then I get to call them a liar, but I didn't get to call you a liar.
No.
Damn it.
Everybody I know would.
Of course.
You know what I'm thinking of doing too before I let you go?
What's that?
It's Christmas season. I'm thinking of getting a new tree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What do you think?
It's very chic. It's very modern. It's it's nice. I like it. I do like it. I'm sorry?
Dude, it's a butt plug.
Yeah, it came with its own base. I thought that was kind of convenient because you know that's the first part that you lose, right? Like you pack it away for the at the end of the season.
Yeah.
You always lose the base.
But
that one comes with the base right on it.
Yeah, Williams-Sonoma is selling these spiral art Christmas trees.
Yeah.
And they actually had to recall them today. Do you know why?
I laugh. Yeah, I wonder how many levels does it go past before somebody says, guys,
hey man, that looks like a challenge to some people. that looks like a task.
It does have a series though. I noticed you can graduate. You can graduate from the small apartment size to
there's
the
the
mansion.
2-footer, but you don't start with the 2-footer. Right?
No.
You start with the 6-incher.
Yeah.
And you make your way up to the 2-footer.
That's it. Don't run.
Williams-Sonoma put these classic Christmas trees up for sale this year for kitschy people, and they were inundated with orders from people and complaints because they caused injuries.
I bet they did.
Yeah.
Was it because they were too heavy and they were lifting with their backs and not their knees? Is that what it was? Or
I didn't ask.
I
didn't ask.
They hurt themselves.
Well, because they put it in themselves, right?
Oh, they put it in their bum.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they did because they cheaped out. And if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. There's you don't want to cheap out on those things.
No, you got to buy quality. It's
Yeah.
got to be quality. You'll hurt yourself.
Because those are breaking at the worst possible.
So they're glass. They're glass.
Yeah, they're glass Christmas trees shaped exactly like a butt plug. And
that could be a problem.
And America, right?
America. Everything's a challenge, right?
Like, what do you think? It's half the price of a regular butt plug, and you can put it on the counter when you're done with it.
And there's no shame in buying it. It's like, I bought a tree. What are you talking about? Look, it doesn't look funny on your visa.
I got it at Williams-Sonoma. It didn't come from the Stag Shop.
Yeah, it
from
doesn't look funny on the
Sonoma.
visa statement. Yeah, you're good.
Anyway, fascinating.
Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough. Just saying.
I don't agree. Thanks for doing this. Great to see you. Locke's internet, his power actually went out.
Oh.
That's why we lost him.
Shit. Here we were making all these assumptions. I'm sticking with he's mad.
Maybe he's mad. I don't care.
Yeah.
Tech problems. We're going to get Livingston back from Cantork this week, and we're going to test out those issues, and we're going to make it work, even if we have to get a new fucking server. If we need a new program, I don't care. I've had enough. Anyway, we're going to do that this week. Lachlan will be back tomorrow. Hopefully, he'll be less frustrated. We're going to talk to our friend Colin Livingston from Cantork again this week. Get his origin story. You'll love him. Trust me. He's one of the greatest characters in business and in Canada. You'll love the guy. And don't forget Cantork for all your industrial tooling solutions. Thanks to our friends at Kivlaw Defense Lawyers. If you're looking for a great attorney, Southern Ontario, the best in the business, Rob Kivlikin, kivlaw.ca. That's where you go. Just send him an email, robert@kivlaw.ca. You know why you want to send him an email? Because if you're in legal trouble, you don't want to represent yourself. That's how the majority of people go down. They're like, I watched a lot of Matlock.
Yeah.
I got an 80 in grade 10 in law. I know the word tort. I can figure this out. Nope. You call Rob. That's what you do. Send him an email, robert@kivlaw.ca. Super simple to do. Kivlaw Defense Attorneys keep you free, help you get out of trouble, help you get out of the jam. And when you get out of that jam, you'll be thankful for it because you had the best life advice from any attorney in Southern Ontario. Robert@kivlaw.ca. Send him an email today. Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
And you avoid getting Williams-Sonoma in jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one wants that, do they? No one needs this one. It broke. Yeah, it's because you ordered it from Williams-Sonoma. Also, thanks to our friends at Easy Auto Financial for making this possible. Easy Auto Financial. They've been helping people get in vehicles for a long period of time, and they're going to help you do it too. So go to Easy Auto Financial for more details today. No obligation. Financing is free for everybody at easyautofinancial.ca. That's right. If it's free, it's for me. That's what I've always said. Also, real quick, thanks to Ed's Fine Imports. Ed's Gitch are on us. They can be on you too for a free pair of underwear from Ed. Use promo code Gitch3. Go to edsfineimports.com. Order from him today, and he'll send it to you tomorrow. That's how he works. Tons of colors, massive online store, clothing for men and boys. Go to edsfineimports.com. Thanks, Linz. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
He's back all week. Linz from the Linz Report is back all week. We'll see him tomorrow. We'll see Locke tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow as well with Kareem Assad, who will be here along with Douglas Connors from the True North Eager Beaver podcast to talk pronouns. Yeah, I'm going to take that on tomorrow. Why not? I don't care anymore. Figure it out. I don't even understand it. It's been like 10 years. It's like sports betting. So who's laying what? What are the odds? How does that work? Same with pronouns. We're going to find out tomorrow exactly how it works and what you're supposed to be doing. Kareem is going to stop by to talk about beating Doug Ford in court. That happened. Nobody said a word, obviously, because Doug's a coward. And we'll carrying on. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Don't forget to sign up for everything we do at deanblundell.com. Just the newsletter would be great. Follow us and hit subscribe everywhere you can follow us and hit subscribe. YouTube, Dean Blundell Show, Dean Blundell TV on Twitch. And, of course, anywhere you find us on socials, including Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And have a great day. Really appreciate y'all being here. Bye.